Hello everybody, Dr. Schwaz here with another speedrun tutorial on Speyer. Just a disclaimer before starting, this is a very sweaty map, no matter how you run it, so just make sure you have a good team before you jump into this one. So you come here with a typical setup: one scout, one engineer, one sniper, and two siphon soldiers. If you want to run a hammer, you can. It's a pretty large spawn, so you definitely want two siphon, preferably. The way we run this, this will be where they spawn. The enemies will spawn in the opposite versus spawn and the market. So it'll be like one giant shaped L. One soldier will plant in the market. One soldier will plant in the main opposite versus spawn. Before heading in, I'd like to give shout outs to friends and players that ran this map with me. Madigan Pro Him in 1942, Sniper Legend Mike, Lolly Force, Quiet Dan, Dr. Power, Sus Vision, Big in the Game, Grizzled Hulk, Slaughter 00, Sethers Morris, Loki 71K2, and the rest of the Gears of War 4 Speedrun Community / Club. Thank you very much for running this ridiculous run with me and getting the footage for this tutorial. I appreciate it. Okay, as mentioned, there are two stationary spots. First siphon soldier will be up in the church here. Just right in the middle, right here. Just this is just here so you can just block any spawns behind you. And the soldier will plant in the market area, so just all around here. On the floors, on the walls, it's fine, either or. The spawn is big enough to hold a decent amount of enemies, so. The other siphon soldier, this will be the soldier that gets the boss. The boss which will spawn right at the end of the K-rail in front of him. We'll get to that in a second. The soldier here plants the tree on the left, and the verses in the main. One a nade right there, a couple nades on the ground deep into the spawn, nade right there, just kind of circle the tree, and you're good. A good spot for the scout to sit is right here by the pole on this K-rail. You can just run in, get all the money on the main, the tree, the market. Run through the church, go back to the fab, which will be back there, which I'll show you guys shortly. Before I drop the fab, I need to mention at the very beginning of the match, the NG will have to build 2 decoys to block overflow on the planetarium side. Just right in the middle of those arches, just one under each, and you're good. That'll stop any trackers, juvies, some small enemies from spawning in the beginning. That way you can just have all the enemies spawn where you want them to, the main versus spawn in the market. As far as the boss, he spawns right at the top of the K-rail right there at the end. Put a decoy, carrier, Swarmac, Natric, and aggro to it. The Kestrel can spawn up here. It can also spawn inside of the main versus spawn as well. So just 2 general areas. To push the boss, You want some grenades or fortifications around the end of that K-rail. Decoy works too. That'll push him right up there to that right siphon soldier. That way the boss doesn't spawn by the sniper. And I'll show you the Fabricator location, which will be back here. You kind of just want it 45 degrees relative to the K-rail and the pole. Just get it as close as you can. It's not terribly picky since the spawn is very large. And drop. One last thing I forget to mention, in the 30s and 40s, the engine doesn't have a spot, but it's useful for him to sit in this area if he can. Sometimes you'll get some odd spawn jubies, odd spawn out behind that soldier. It's a very rare thing. Here is the engineer setup. So just waist 48 through 50. On the main spawn, I like to have 2 sentries aiming into the main verses with the barrier in front. And then 2 sentries aiming left into the tree side. Notice I'm back here just doing some dancing and just taking the spot behind that soldier. Sometimes you'll get odd spawns in the 40s, as I mentioned earlier. On the side of the market, I'll have 4 sentries, just 2 in the back here by the blocks, and then 2 up top there by the stairs and the level 2 barrier. And then coming straight into the market where the other soldier is, I'll have a level 2 barrier and then 2 level 3s or 2 level 4s floating, which I'll show you in a second. Yeah, right here. These are pretty difficult to float. It's a lot easier once they hit level 3. But it's definitely a cool thing to do. A level 4 locker, 1 for each soldier. I did run salvage on this. Of course, it's optional. I swapped out carry speed for it. It's really to help out the soldiers. They're not really that close to the ammo boxes, and they gotta plant a lot of grenades because it's a huge spawn. You can see in TACCOM, you can see they're spawning pretty sporadic. This isn't the fastest of speedruns, especially in the beginning, but once the setup is built and the sniper gets money, you can speed this up significantly with strikes and things. This is wave 50. Just topping off some sentries. Get ready for the final wave. Isn't a huge build. It's what, 4 sentries in the main, and then a barrier, and then 6 sentries market with 2 barriers, and a locker for each soldier and a decoy for the boss. We get a snatcher. Aggro's right to the decoy. And he's killed within a couple of seconds. And we're just sitting here waiting for the scout to get all the money. We're just playing around now because the match is over. Yeah, this is the Speyer speedrun. So market and Verb versus spawn, the observatory spawn. Very sweaty run. Definitely need a good team, as mentioned. Yeah. Thanks for watching.